Well, how's it going, Kingston? Welcome back to the battlefield. Today we have the historical Battle of Wagram with the corps that were actually there, which means French and Austrians will be battling it out. I believe we have some cab hovering really close to the Austrians here. But yeah, this is going to be a vicious fight. The historical corps, so you have an 8-point Imperial Guard up here in the front, and they are going to be with 10-point Massena in the back. You have a 10-point Davoon on the far right, a 11-point Lons. Now, like I said, they're taking on the Austrians, who are going to be on the defensive for this battle. They're holding along this road, basically, between these two towns. I think it's actually three. Like I said, they have a reinforcing army. UK way down here. They're going to have to rush to get to this point, because you see, the French have an option to deploy over in this area, but they don't. They actually have all focused their armies on this side, which means they're probably gonna try to punch through where the Austrian coalition is weakest. Let me see, there was some artillery, or not some artillery, some cavalry charged in. A light infantry squared, and defending themselves, give a very vicious volley, repulsing the hussars, and now they can push forward. Now there's skirmishers trying to take out as many of the French as possible as these light infantry are advancing. Also, France is going straight for the town. Massena pushing, I believe, the Imperial Guard right behind him, but still going to be a vicious town fight, hand-to-hand combat. He has a lot of carabineers, a lot of grenadiers to kind of reinforce his army, but still going to be a tough one. I mean, he does have the advantage as France with that good melee. Look at the masses of troops just marching forward here, and they have cuirassiers and other heavy cav, and you can see already getting really close. Austria trying to react to that. They have troops on both sides here. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough to hold this town, hold the center? Over on the left side, it does look like France is going in for the LOC, sending in his carabineers. He probably should easily take this house. That's a really good quality infantry, and just pushing forward on this side. Now, I just played this battle recently, not the historical side of it, but the battle defensive, and I did not hold this side. I went more in the center to defend with my allies, just to not get isolated and separated. And we do have cavalry charging for the artillery piece. Oh my goodness, no. Austria needs that gun. Every gun that they can, they need. And they have lost one of them. Hopefully they don't lose more of them, because that's the only way to really force back France. One of the only ways, I should say. Now that France has its LOC, Austria probably is going to have to fall back. They cannot hold with their infantry getting shot in the flank by a very protected LOC. You can see the rest of the troops forming up here. This is the one thing I see as being a concern for Austria. They are really close to the edge of the map, which means they probably could easily have units run off the map when they rout and not come back. Well, I guess we'll see. You do have artillery set up, 12-pounder set up, some stakes in front. Over on this side, France continuously rolling forward here as Austria sends in their grenadiers. But France, well, they could try to get that melee going for them. They do have the Imperial Guard in the rear that is coming up. Have a nice juicy reserve. Let's see if they can get a bayonet charge off before Austria can line up and shoot and carry this fight forward. Oh, yep, we have a first bayonet charge, and Austria does not. Okay, well, they do get a volley, at least partially a volley, so this French line could maybe break, but I think with reinforcing charges from the 37th, they're just fine. Now, Austria is holding the rest of this line, but if their center breaks, guys, this could be a disaster very early on for them. Artillery is going to get a chance to push up and set up without, you know, Austria being able to focus it down too much. And France is setting up their forces as Austria is pouring in. This is the first or second volley already, but oh, beautiful volleys there. France has been repulsed here as Austria charged in even more and more infantry. It is becoming a massive street fight, which France does seem to be maybe taking some losses. They have the grenadiers in the fight, interestingly enough, though not doing too well. Austria pushing forward, more troops starting to engage along the side here. Over here, nothing really happening. It's just a focal point here in the center. And we do have Davout. He is going to push down here to protect the left flank, I'm assuming. But you can hear regular volleys now from the French and Austrians. Let's see if we can get a nice cinematic volley. Oh, yeah. That is awesome. Austria's going to hold well in the shooting match, though. But in the melee itself, you can see it has not worked too well. However, France has taken this LOC, which is going to force back the Austrian line. More Austrians coming to reinforce. It does look like with France taking, I believe this is the... No, Wagram's over here. So, is it... I can't read it. Something Dorf. Now Austria is falling back. Also on this side, France is now engaging in another line fight with the Austrians holding their ground. Not even all firing yet. Not as... The volleys seem way better for the French. But there is artillery firing. This is going to be painful. Oh, do we have Cav pushing forward? Now, do they have squares? They do not. Oh, no. Can they get a volley off? Oh, they did. Oh, what? Why did Austria stop? They did charge in over here and got broken. But Austria, yep, I think they're checking to see if there was a square to get formed. And there's not, so they are going to roll in there. Austria looks to be trying to push forward a little bit more, maybe charging in, but some Chasseurs Cheval are going to push up and try to focus down any Austrian troops in the town. The Cuirassiers still in reserve. Over on this side, it just looks like the Cav's going to fall back. France repelled that initial attack by Austria, and they're pushing forward. More cavalry, though, for Austria setting up. I don't see any heavy cav yet for Austria. But they have a line that is holding. I think France is taking some losses. Not a ton yet. We'll see how it goes along the entirety of the line. You have France pushing forward. Oh, we have a Cuirassier inching forward. We have a huge cav engagement, too, on this side with infantry and cavalry. Make sure I don't miss something over here. Do we have a huge cav engagement? Yes, we do. The Imperial Guard charge again against line infantry and Austrian cavalry. More Cuirassier or Grenadier Cheval pushing forward now. On this side, do we have a huge Austrian cav engagement charging down the French and the Cuirassier, which of course I would miss it. They charged into the Austrian line. It doesn't look like it was the greatest of charges, but with the French pushing forward their lines, this shouldn't be too hard for them to start mass routing the Austrian line. And yep, they're going to go along the entire side. Austria probably isn't going to even get a volley off before they get struck down. And Austria is looking pretty worse for wear here. In the town, things still being a bit of a struggle here. Austria still stubbornly holding off. Look at this officer. Oh, he's just been struck down. Oh, man. Rip. An officer was trying his best. All right, so Austria, now the UK forming up here. So Austria is going to start really pushing. Davout is going to have to protect that left flank. But yeah, Davout is set up to defend this left flank against the UK, which I am sure they are rolling down this road. They may be trying to move up to reinforce using this back line, which is going to honestly be a huge advantage for the coalition, having these communication lines where they can shuttle troops quickly from one side of the field to the other. However, on this side, obviously the French have really focused it down. France doing a beautiful job of attacking with those Cuirassiers. Man, they really broke down Austria. But Austria is still here, and actually, man, they're pressing the attack. Still. More light infantry pushing up. Do we have... Oh, we have a French Grenadiers charging forward. Let's see if Austria can react to this Grenadier attack. Oh, who can stop them? They've lost only 2 men. Oh my gosh, that was execution at close range. Maybe they still make it, but Austria's going to make space here away from the enemy. They need to, Austria needs to start pulling back a little bit here. They're going to get cut off. This French force is really pushing a dent into their lines here. Over in the center, France has retaken this. This crossroads has been a source of some of the bloodiest conflict I've seen. And Austria just refuses to give up this town. Now the UK are starting to make their appearance. Here we go. We have what looks like some elite units, some artillery firing. Yeah, Davout is gonna have their work cut out for them. Where's the Imperial Guard? That is the question that I am wondering now. Where is that Imperial Guard? Ah, here it is. So it's in the rear. A lot of small but yet elite units shuttling themselves to wherever they will be needed. And they definitely will be needed. This Austrian force is not going down without a fight. They charge in more cavalry, seems to really hurt a lot more of the French line. This cavalry being defensive here. More Austrians shifting forward towards the front lines. Oh my goodness, I'm not doing a good job. These sappers are helping force back the French, and a beautiful cav charge by Austria. Oh my goodness, engaging so many of the French lines, forces them not to be able to do any shooting, and this Austrian cav probably is going to break, but it may be worth it because the Austrians are like really locking down a lot of French lines here. You see France actually pushing away from this side of the Austrian line, as that has just got some excellent shooting firepower. Now more and more Austrian cav throwing themselves into this fight as France is trying to pull back some of his probably wavering forces, and you can see they just immediately break. So France is hitting some roadblocks here just because the cav is so vicious for the Austrians, and they're just using it to great effect to really force it back. Now Austria is pushing for it. Man, this building, how many times is this building gonna switch hands? The amount of dead in this one building is unreal. Austria's kind of forced themselves into an awkward situation here, though. I mean, Messina and the Imperial Guard are now rolling out, maybe even Davout pushing up to surround this forward advanced Austrian army. They may have pushed out a little too much. The UK on the far flank, so they are going for a huge flank. And that means Davout's going to have to split up his forces, most likely, to deal with it. But that means he has a little time. They have a little bit of time. They have a nice artillery position. They can hold out and maybe try to crush this Austrian force. This is where I would put my heavy cav right now. I would put it right in this gap, charge in, maybe get, you know, one or two of these Imperial Guard units behind and just rush forward, try to hit that flank. They do have cav, but you know, you just gotta, you have your cav to counter their cav. On this side, ooh, Lanz is totally falling back. He's inflicted some pretty heavy losses on the Austrian army, but Austria is still here and still ready to fight. So France, given a little distance, maybe resting up his forces, resting up his heavy cav, guys. That is something that people don't think about. You gotta rest up that cuirassier unit so it can be an effective weapon against the enemy once more. This Grenadier Ledoux is pushing up to this side. Maybe they're gonna use it to, you know, help out with this Austrian army. If they can defeat this left flank, then they can push up quite aggressively, start surrounding the Austrian center. Austria, surprisingly, they're not fighting the greatest. They are, I think, holding a position they do not need to hold. And the French have a numerical advantage on them. And they are going to drop like flies, especially here. Now, we do have cavalry pushing for the artillery piece. And they're definitely going to make it there in time. But this artillery piece may be saved. We'll see. We'll see. UK still pushing on the flank. France, they're gonna, I would have repositioned these guns already. I guess they can't. This artillery piece is already shooting. But Austria did lose one of their guns. I don't know if they're going to lose the other one. They have some Austrian line of tree. And these guys could easily be turning and shooting on the flank, but I guess they didn't need them. They did get rid of one of the Austrian guns. That is a huge advantage for them. If the UK just get really aggressive, they're going very slow. They don't need to go this slow. Start advancing, pushing flanks. You can form square. There's no concerns there. Really not a whole lot of concerns. Now we do have more sappers. Oh, these guys. This is like the terrible part of the battle where the French don't want to, like, you know, eventually it's like if your regiment gets ordered to attack its position, you know you're gonna die, kind of a thing. There are some more grenadiers here, but I just really want to push Imperial Guard grenadiers forward. You know, that's the question. We may see some more action here. Yeah, we have some cuirassiers fresh, ready to crush more Austrian regiments. And Ledoux may be in the picture as well as some grenadiers. So yeah, France is definitely planning another assault here, and here it goes. Let's see if Austria can hold back this one. And the answer would be no. France is going full ham with Grenadier Ledoux. Oh my goodness, Austria may actually be finally dead. Maybe not. They have a lot of cav, but you can see the Austrian line just folded like a folding chair. And yes, that is a perfect analogy if you ever seen a folding chair fold. Obviously, it's in the name. But I digress. The French are still pushed up. Imperial Guard starting to really shred up. You can see the mass casualties from this Austrian line. They are falling back. They're going to throw up their reserve line. And we have yet another cav charge. Oh, yes. Austria better not try running away. Just try to get another volley. That's all you can hope for. When you see heavy cav pushing, just hope that you can fire a volley before they hit your lines. And obviously that did not happen today. There may have been a square formed here. I can't tell. But man, the heavy cav is executing the Austrians. Now Cav is going to throw himself in. You got to be careful when you're doing this because you're going to charge your own infantry in the back. But France is going to use this opportunity to now start charging in with lines as well, starting to break anything that's still standing from that heavy cuirassier charge. Ledoux and cuirassiers have finally rolled over the Austrian left flank. One or two units in reserve still for Austria, but the rest are dead. And now Austria is looking to be in a rough place here. Oh my goodness, this fight is still going on. Austria trying to be throwing some volleys against this heavy cav. Austrian reserves now caught in the thick of it as the front line of Austrian infantry running is kind of just mashing up the reserve line. Routing troops getting mixed up with the units that are still standing in the fight. The town is still held by the Austrians, but for how long? Especially with this flank totally caving. It's only a matter of time, I feel like. And the UK have been standing way too long. Maybe he's a newer player, and that's okay. He allowed, it's like he was waiting for the French to get their artillery position. Like they literally were able to move their artillery from here to here before they attacked. The thing is, you gotta always be aggressive. If you are not attacking, then you probably will be losing. Because even Austria, I think they were dishing out way more damage to the French, even on this flank when they were attacking, than when they weren't. But holy cow! A huge mass rout by the French. This cav just caved in the French rear and just smashed and routed at least two, if not almost three, line infantry. And they all seem to be driving back the French on this side. The initial breakage of the Austrian line seems to be stabilizing a little bit with this cav support. Hussars running down some line infantry, causing them to break. UK finally getting involved. And this is another pointer. Don't put your infantry in front of just the artillery unless you're planning on throwing cav into it. They could have thrown their cav into it a long time ago because these guys are really just easy targets for this artillery. They're going to smash through this UK infantry easily. Super easily. Okay, so we still have the... Okay. The Imperial Guard is pushing forward. It looks like also some Imperial Guard Chasseur Cheval charging in. I will say this, they did tell me, and I did know this, I didn't want to give it away, the Imperial Guard player does drop. But it was still, they said it was an extremely close fight. So, you know, I am definitely still watching, which is why you can see the Imperial Guard running their troops over here. Thankfully, it is only a couple units that they have. They literally have 2 units left? 3? They have 3 units left, so it's not like they had a ton. And one of the units actually is giving a fire order here, so actually, okay, this is all of them. So, hey, it's like the Imperial Guard went rogue, you know? But they won over here, so it could still stabilize. This gives the Austrians a second chance, guys. This gives the Austrians a second chance to make this battle redemptive. They can still win. Davout's still pushing on this flank. We have the UK shredding up this French line. That's all the UK have to do is stand and shoot, and they will start destroying the lines here. They do have a bunch of cav shifting over here. Davout is going to have a bit of a troubled time. Let's see if the UK know how to play. They have a bunch of heavy cav. And I'm assuming they are new to the game because they're just suiciding their cav directly without even trying to flank this Cuirassier unit. You don't just throw them head in. You could have charged the one around and go for the flank. You know, it definitely would have been better. You can see Davout has its general nearby to inspire his men. It does look like over on this side, the Imperial Guard have basically crumbled. Austria is fighting basically a losing fight here. All they're trying to do is buy time for the other flank. And Massena is trying to push as quickly and aggressively as possible, especially with the Imperial Guard center folding. They're probably going to try to get an aggressive bayonet charge once again, but this poor 67 probably gonna break here. Oh well, it's a sacrificial, you know, something. Oh my goodness, Austria is really pushing here. Massena trying to hold. They have artillery firing here, trying to force back the Austrian line. Over on this side, this cav still in engagement. Crosshair versus horse, heavy horse. France probably will win this one. They have their general nearby. I mean, there's a general over here. If this French cav or if this UK cav can get around the flank and hit the crosshairs on the flank, they will win. If they just charge them directly in, which they're doing, yeah, I mean, maybe it still will, you know, this be considered a flank. I don't know, but they could have gone for a rear charge. It would have been more demoralizing. Austria is pushing out, guys. This is what I said, like the whole attack. Don't just stand there being stagnant. France is attacking too, and Austria on this side is just trying their best to hold back the torrential flood of French. Look at all of these French infantry ignoring this column that is firing, and they're just rolling up this road. Cavalry in the back fighting the Austrians, breaking, but Austria falling back once more. More Austrians rushing forward to kind of defend this flank. Oh, we have Austrian cavalry charging in against skirmishers here. And Austria does have plenty of cavalry still, but with France crashing in on this flank, Austria is going to have a tough time defending here. The UK are... They should be way more aggressive. If they could fold, they can destroy Davout, but they are just... Look at this. They're not even engaging here. They're not engaging whatsoever, and their artillery is going to be getting free kills on them. Why are they not pushing forward to the attack? They need to attack. Push forward the troops, start engaging. Your units will shred up the UK or the French quite easily. Your ally is dying. Oh, here we go. They're attacking. Look at this one brave Austrian line. Look what they're trying to face off against. So few trying to defend here. And now all Grenadiers charging in the rear, breaking them almost immediately. This is going to turn, I suspect this is going to turn into a victory for the French. However, I like how aggressively and how viciously the Austrians have been playing, even going for the Imperial Guard general. Now, he was an AI at this point, but, you know, still is morale that can't be gotten back. And this Imperial Guard, surprisingly for being AI, guys, has held this line quite well. Oh, beautiful charge in the rear. This French line now, imagine just standing there shooting and all of a sudden you just hear like this yell and you look behind you and hussars come crashing in on your rear. Not heavy cav, still something quite deadly, and it is causing some morale issues for Davout's line as Austria is now starting to really engage. They can start putting pressure a lot here. The UK can be putting a lot more pressure here as well. They're letting the artillery of France just destroy their lines. There's a couple Austrians still here, but Lanz is going to push up to help this other side. Even Messena is pushing forward more reserves here as Austria is really going to try to focus down Davout. It seems to be working decently well here. We got some pioneers. Brave sappers. I'm suspecting the UK player is newer, which, you know, that's totally fine. You know, I'm glad to see people newer still playing this mod. It is a rough mod, it is a steep learning curve, so whoever the UK player is, you know, don't stop. Just keep getting advice from people that you're playing with and be willing to listen to what they say, and don't get upset if they get very heated and excited because you're not doing what they tell you. That's the best advice I can give. If you're new, you're probably gonna make some players upset, or they're gonna get very excited, and don't take it personal. I've got yelled at so much in games. Still do, actually. But, yeah. Austria finally may lose this house. After shedding so much blood to hold it, they finally lose it. Maybe we can actually see the name of it now. Bommersdorf? Is that an M? Or an R? Bommersdorf, I think.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
I do like the Austrian uniforms, though. I don't really care to play them as much. I do like the helmets. They're very cool. Yeah, the French are rolling forward. It is going to be over, unfortunately, for the Austrians. They've just lost too many allies. The UK are going to lose this one just because, unfortunately, at this point in time, things are just over. You know, the French are too numerous. Austria is doing their best. Obviously the Austrians knew what they're about. They did a good job with their cavalry and infantry, and there's still some Austrian cavalry in the back. Looks like some Crossairs, though, gonna engage them. The heavy cav for France really did a number on the Austrians. Austria seems to be falling back a little bit now. They have artillery set up. This artillery could, you know, put some damage on the French, but it's not going to be enough to save them from utter destruction. Now look at this. This reminds me of like War and Peace, you know, when you have those scenes. If this is a War and Peace, like old movie, you should have cav running across right here. You just, you know, see it, but yep, you still have flashes. You can hear the distant roll of musket fire. Oh, it never gets old, guys. Never gets old. I know I've been saying that for like almost 2 years now, but it doesn't, obviously. It's been 2 years. 2 years, by the way, of NTW3 content. And I still have not gotten bored of this. The testament to an amazing mod. UK are advancing here. That's how Lons is actually going to push up to help them out. Oh my goodness, they mass routed. See, if the UK had been aggressive sooner, they could have easily broken this French line. And now he's running away when he could still attack. He honestly could still attack. This UK player could win this if he didn't run away. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think he could easily win this. Look how many French units are left, especially with how depleted they are. 1 or 2 volleys at closer range from one of these beefy UK units would execute them. Let them stand here, reload, push them up, get a nice point-blank volley on the French, and you start breaking them one at a time. I guarantee you France is still trying to be as cautious as possible, and I guarantee you France is going to use this road to try to close in from melee and then maybe try to flank the UK position. In fact, if the UK are going to hold here by their guns, France is going to roll down this road and hit their flank, and if the UK doesn't react, and this is my prediction, UK is going to die to a flank and they're never going to turn their lines to face it. That's my prediction. Austria is going to get meleeed, and the UK is going to get meleeed in just mass rout, and then there's probably a French flank going to hit this side and break them from two sides at once. We'll see, though. We'll see how wrong I am, or how right I am, you know? There's still work to be done, and these Carabineers still have a hard job, and many of them probably are going to die. They're almost at 50% casualties. They fell back, leaving one of their dead comrades staring up at the great blue. Like the view of a Napoleonic soldier. You know. You see nothing. Just the beautiful sky. No. So the Austrians hold this line. They do have artillery from the UK, which can force back the French. Like I said, the French still have a hard fight ahead of them. They do have artillery of their own, but they definitely want to clean up all remaining coalition forces before probably assaulting this one. They have plenty of time. They have 37 minutes remaining, and they have a lot of guns. They have 8 guns, I believe even more pushing up. But even with just 8 guns, that is enough to shred the UK, and the UK are probably just going to stand here and die to artillery. Which is how you can kill the UK. You don't even have to get close to them, just have your artillery fire. They're just gonna blast the UK thick lines that are gonna stand here. In fact, I guarantee these spikes may actually hamper the artillery from firing. Ooh, Austrian general got hit by that one. He's standing right behind that artillery, and he breaks. Uh-oh. Oh, this cav is going for a brave charge. Can they make it? Nope, they're about to fire. Oh, no! Oh, no! I think they actually still saved their artillery. I think one canister shot may have actually saved them, but barely. Barely. That was a close call. And now... Oh, what are the UK doing? Alright, we have crosshairs. Let's see if the UK form a square. What? How can you not form square? You're the UK. Ooh, look at this guy. He got ambitious here. He's like crawling around this square. Oh, he dies. This... What? You can't charge through a square to get the other side. This Devu player is doing some interesting strategies here. We got Poland through a square, we got blob charge. Not the cleanest game ever. I mean, not like it's probably gonna change anything. France could have won by not even doing that. They could have pulled back their heavies and pushed the infantry up. They probably would have won. I'm gonna fast forward here, guys. At this point, the UK is just gonna hold their ground next to their artillery and just hope that the French attack. And the French are going to attack, just not where the UK want them to. They're gonna push the weakened Austrians. And actually, UK seem to be reacting. They are reacting. They're pulling back with this Austrians attack, with the Austrians breaking and France pushing down this flank. I will say I was half right with my prediction. I predicted they would hit Austria on this side, but then the UK I thought would just stand still, because I thought the French would actually engage them on the front, but now the UK are just going to run away, which they're going to get caught, and they're just going to mass break as the French are going to get in melee here. Now they did turn around to face this line of tree, and they probably can break it if they can get a nice volley first, but Probably not going to happen here, as they're going to mass rout with all their allies breaking, and that will be it for that UK army. The last thing is this Austrian defense here. They have 1 or 2 units defending this one LOC. It's a general, I think, actually. He's actually going to march out. Be a brave soul here. Oh, look at him. Going straight at the enemy. And that will be the battle. The Battle of Wagram.
We have killed their general, sir.
So,
now they must break.
I'm going to see them pull up the results here, but we can see this was set in by Lotus, and this is his army. He was playing as Lons on the right flank. And you can see those crossyears that he sent in multiple times did amazingly well. Those grenadiers as well did really well. And then the light infantry, I imagine a lot of that was shooting. The light infantry really chewing up the enemy. These cores are a lot of fun, actually. I like playing these cores. Either side, because well, actually, I can't remember which coalition this is. I don't think it's the 4th coalition, but I'd have to look, actually. I can't remember. Probably someone in the comments will tell me which one of the coalition cores this was, but I'm going to go through the results, so be 1 sec. All right, guys, so here we have the results. So we have, on the French side, you have Marshal Davout with 1,048 kills. Tunzik with 1441, Lotus with 1537, and Lord Oxford with 941. Ooh, excuse me. You can see on the side, yeah, the UK, their biggest downfall was sitting there on the flank for way too long. They barely got a fight, I feel like, and they had a pretty large army. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But the other Austrians, you can see Object Man with 1642 for the kills, did very well. Blue got 1,024, and the Arctic Fox got 902. So I think they all played very well. And, you know, Austria is a tough faction to play as. It's a challenge, which is why I like playing as them. And I think they played pretty well. So anyway, guys, that'll be the battle today. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.